you for joining us for ICONversations. The ICON program is designed to celebrate our company's top producers. These agents have not only exceeded capping status, but have also reached exceptional milestones, earning them various stock grants and the opportunity to earn back their paid company dollar. Today from Minnesota, we have Leonid Merman. From Arizona, we have Heather Rodriguez. From North Carolina, we have Mary Ribeiro. From Pennsylvania, we have Ryan Tc. And our amazing moderator today from Indiana is Glenn Bill. Glenn, take it away.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to ICONversations. It's great to be with you today. It looks like we're starting a little bit early, and it also looks like we have 4 unbelievable ICON producers that are here to give to you and help you list more and sell more real estate, and I can't wait to learn more about them and their businesses. And so let's start with just some general introductions of the panelists. I'd love to know the history of your business, how long you've been in business, what is your true mission, your value statement, and your best advice for the 38 people that are sitting in our audience. And we can start with Ryan Tc from Pennsylvania. Ryan, welcome to ICONversations.
Hey, thank you. Name's Ryan Tc. I'm from Northeast Pennsylvania. Been in business. This is my 7th year, all 7 years with EXP, 6-time ICON. My main focus in real estate itself, where I'm at, a big blue collar area. So we get a lot of transfers from all over the country. So I do a lot of residential. I would say my core focus, mission is, more time with my son. So it's delegating out some of our jobs we have to do, and having an admin, paying a TC, having buyer agents work with me, help me allocate that time for my son. And what was the rest of the question? I missed some of the end.
Do you have a mission statement, or I think the values you hit on, but do you have a mission statement or a slogan that you use with your business?
Yeah, so there's just one. It's one thing I always say: we get her done. That's it. We get her done out here. So doesn't matter what the obstacle is. There's always a solution. So get it done. Whenever we get into a transaction, you're going to come across a million different things that can go wrong. There is a solution. Find it, get it done. That's the goal. Your client wants to buy or sell, get it done. I have a simplistic system, a simplistic slogan. I go to the basics, and that's, I put my success on basics. Consistency gets it done rather than not doing it, or, trying to build some big complicated system. I heard this a long time ago. The system that works is the one that you use. So
I love it. That's great. Ryan, what type of unit count are you doing? And what is the ratio between buyers and sellers?
Yeah. So last year was 75 transactions I was involved with. My average over the 7 years is 52 a year. The ratio for buyers to sellers. So I know a lot of people focus on that. I don't, because I take them as they come in. Most of my business is referral based. 5 years, 3 years were all in the 70s, mid 70s. And then the last 2 years were in the 80s that are all referral based clients, either past clients, friends, family members, other agents. So I have a really high rate for referrals. So I just take it as it comes in. I don't go and core focus on one. As the business comes in, I take on that challenge and, complete it.
I love that, Ryan. Awesome. Well, thank you for introducing yourself to us. Let's go to Mary Ribeiro from North Carolina. Welcome, Mary. We look forward to hearing about your business, how long you've been in it, your mission, and what you value most about your service.
So I've been in business. This is my 9th year. It's my 5th year with EXP. I have been in ICON for all the years that I've been with EXP, and I've built my business through relationships. So far, I've done about a little over 300 transactions, 125 million in volume. A few months ago, I moved from Massachusetts to North Carolina, so mid last year, end of summer. And so it's been a new beginning here, but I still have my business going in Massachusetts. I have an agent I partnered with. She's my boots on the ground, so it's been working out well. My mission is just to serve people, serve my clients, and the sale comes when you have that as a priority. And the values is family is everything to me. My business, helping my clients, our faith. Those are our values.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for being here, Mary. And starting brand new in a new city, that certainly can be daunting. I just wonder how many of the folks that are sitting here, if somebody said, we're going to pick you up and move you to a new market, how they would feel. My guess is they would probably feel a bit anxious, fearful, and helpless. I'm just wondering, when you planted yourself in your new market, did you have any history, or did you just go into that market cold? And what's been the fastest way, or what activity's been the best way that you began to engage with that community and do deals?
It is daunting. It's not easy. It's a frightening thought, but it's something that we planned for a long time. We didn't know anybody here in Charlotte, North Carolina, not a soul. We moved here for better quality of life for our family, and my sister and her family moved with us, and my parents are coming too. So we just started to get involved in the community, putting ourselves out there, social media, a little bit of farming, and it's not as fast a start as I would like. But again, I still keep nurturing my business in Massachusetts. So between the two, it's, still have a great volume going on.
Awesome. So we go to our third person out in Arizona, and good morning, Heather Rodriguez. It's bright and early, so thank you for being up here and ready to talk to our folks. Please give us a little bit of history about you and your business. What is your mission, and what is your value statement for the market?
Yeah, good morning. Absolutely. I'm thrilled to be here. So I've been, this year it'll be 9 years. This August, it'll be 9 years. I've been with EXP, for 5 of those years. And I'm so glad to have made the change. I guess last year we did about 47 transactions, and my business is probably heavier on the listing side. I probably do about 80% listings. That's kind of my focus. And my goal, or I guess my mission, is really to deliver a professional and positive experience for each and every client. I think a lot of people don't get that, and our industry suffers because of it. So I really do strive to provide that professional, pleasant, positive experience from beginning to end. And our tagline, or my tagline for me and my team, is just simply expect more.
I love that. I love expect more. And how did you get that tagline, and what does it really mean to you when you say expect more? Did you hear that from someone, or is that just from your gut?
No, when I started in this business, my tagline was your journey begins here, because that's such a real estate type tagline. and as I got into the business, because I came from corporate, as I got into the business, I just saw so many things that were disappointing and frustrating in the industry. And I would just come across so many different scenarios where people were not treated the way they should be. And there were people that, are in this industry, they don't know, or maybe they're part-time, or they're just not paying attention, or they don't take it serious. And one time a client said to me, wow, this is like a whole different experience. I feel like I was cheating myself before. And I said, you should always expect more for yourself. And that's kind of where it all stemmed from.
Well, that is awesome. So you worked in corporate. Were you at corporate at EXP or a different brokerage?
No, I was in just corporate America. I was
corporate America.
I was a regional vice president for a big company.
And Heather, my guess is folks here listening have moved from a corporate setting into the entrepreneurial ways of real estate. I'm curious, what questions did you ask yourself in helping make the decision to leave the security blanket of a paycheck to get into a full commission business? What was the impetus? What was the question that moved you to get you to do that?
It was a big decision for me and my family. I had a great salary, company car. I mean, it was a great job. So I knew I wanted to do something for myself. I knew I had the ability. And what I did was I sat with my husband and we put a plan together. We put a budget together. We allocated money and set aside money for me to start my business. So when I did, and I went to real estate school during that time too, while I was still working, I got all my ducks in a row. I had a budget to start my business. We had money allocated to carry us for at least a year, if not knowing what kind of business I would generate in real estate. And I had my license completed. I got everything done. I put my database together, started researching CRM systems, meeting with brokerages before I made my big decision. And once I picked where I was going to be, got everything ready, I quit my job and did it full time. I had a business plan put together. I had a marketing person who built all my marketing pieces out. I wanted to come into this like I was starting a real business, just like I had done in corporate life. You have to have your brand, you have to have your image, you have to have everything consistent in your messaging if you want people to take you serious. So that's what I did it. And I made a commitment. I made a commitment to my family and said, if I don't make at least X my first year, I'm going to go back to corporate. But I actually ended up being rookie of the year for the whole state at the brokerage I was at before.
Awesome. And if you don't mind sharing, what was X? What was that number? 100,000 or 150 or what was it?
It was 125.
125, 10 grand a month. Good for you and congratulations. And I'm sure you're crushing that now. Let's go to our friend up in Minnesota, Leonid Merman. Leonid, great to have you here. Please tell us a little bit of a history about yourself and your business. And what is your mission statement and or value proposition to your clients?
Hi, guys. People call me Leo. Leonid is a little bit too long in the real estate world. They just butcher my name any way they want. So I'm going by Leo. I've been licensed for 9 years. Prior to that, I was in IT world. But when I was working in IT, I was doing flips. At some point, we got very serious on the flip side. We were doing about 20-25 homes a year. And at some point, I just decided to get the license so I could write my own offers. And a few years after that, few friends asked me to sell and buy them real estate. And that's how my flipping business became more of a standard 24/7 realtor business. Like I said, I've been licensed for 9 years, 3 years with the last 3 years with EXP. It was a very good change. I love so far everything. The mission statement, I would say, is to deliver the value, and I let my clients know from the moment we met that this is my mission. So if we buy, my goal is to deliver value, to get them real estate below market value or with some huge potential. And when I represent the sellers, the mission is to sell at asking price as close as possible without any losses during negotiations and stuff like this. I had slogan for years, no broken promises. So, and I capitalize on that. I mean, if something is promised, I keep my promise. I'm big on educating my clients. I think is the key. I want them to be on the same page I am as far as the knowledge, as far as the making decision. So I educate them about the buying or selling process, about forms, everything real estate related. And I am true 100% solo. I don't even use transaction coordinator. I'm doing everything myself. I know many people disagree, but this is my way. I like it. Not trying to replicate it and to follow the industry trends when everything is delegated to, obviously I delegate like my marketing material and designs and all that stuff. But as far as the working with the actual clients and actual transaction, I'm the solo. So here we go.
Very good, Leo. Thank you so much. And I would encourage everybody to know that, the biggest secret in real estate is there is no secret. And as much as people want to tell you this is the one way to do it, the most wonderful thing about our business is that you have the freedom to do the business the way you want. You have the freedom to create the business and create the life you want the way you want to in this business. And so, Leo, I loved your sentiment on you do what you do the way you want it. You sound like a guy that's probably open to always learning and improving. But sometimes trainers and educators try to say, hey, this is the only way to do it. And it's just not the case. I'll give you my introduction. My name is Glenn Bill. I've been in the business 38 years. I started in the business at 19 years old, totally broke with no sphere. It became a top producer the first year in the business. I purchased my company that I worked for when I was 23, grew that business to 3 offices, 175 agents, and over 10 million in revenue. After I sold that company when I turned 40, I wrote a book called Source of Sales. You guys are all welcome to join the Source of Sales Facebook page. But Source of Sales is a book that basically tells you how to sell 52 homes a year. And I train all over the country, real estate agents, on how to make that happen. And I came to EXP 6 years ago. I've iconed every year. I love our company. I think you guys are definitely in the right place. But because I've been around so long and I'm a dinosaur and have done many trainings, I just think it's so important that the folks in the audience live right now, I know you're sitting there with questions that you want to know. And as much as myself and the icons, we have plenty of information to give you. But if it's information you don't want, it doesn't really help. And so if you're sitting there with a burning question, whether it's on motivation, whether it's on buyers, whether it's on sellers, we are here for you. So I have questions that I can ask them that I think will be very productive. But if you're on this call and you need advice and you need the answers, then by all means, please get in this chat and start firing these questions at us so we can give you the most relevant content to help you build your business. So it's an honor to be a moderator for these 4 excellent icons. And we did just get a question thrown to us by Russ Enyart. And Russ, thank you for your question. And let's just continue the order that we went in. Russ wants to know, where do you spend your money? So Ryan, why don't we start with you, then go to Mary, Heather, and Leo, and then I'll answer as well. So Ryan, where are you spending your money?
So I'm going to take that as in spending my money towards leads and on my business.
Sure. Well, I mean, we all spend money in different ways, Ryan. So when you're writing checks at the end of the month, tell us where you're writing checks to.
Yeah, of course. So for my business, like I said, I pay admin. So a check goes to her. I still pay for some online leads. EXP has exclusive with realty.com. I pay for those. and I pay still for Zillow. I'm a firm believer in keeping your database growing, even though the majority of my business the past 5 years is over I think it's averaging right now 76% is referral based. I still have to continue to grow it because once they buy, they buy. They'll refer me out, but it's nice to have people who are actively looking now. So I still will pay for ads. And I've tried, like pay-per-click ads, and I always try something to pay for. I tried some AI stuff. I'm always open to new opportunities. I'm always going to dive in and see what it's about and try it out as long as I like it. And I have a couple of systems. I mean, I pay for Follow Up Boss. I'm not really on it too much, but I do pay for it. I think that's where most of it goes out to. Outside of, we have for our closings, closing gifts. I like to handle like contractor repairs sometimes for them, depending on what the extent is. That's all I could think of offhand. An accountant. I have an accountant. Money goes to him as well. So.
I like it. Well, Ryan, thank you for that. And Mary, how about you? Are you writing checks or are you keeping it low cost?
I try to keep it as simple as possible, but I do have a few systems that I pay for. So a CRM, Flowdesk for newsletters.
What's your CRM, Mary?
My CRM is Go High Level.
Oh, I'm using that too. Okay.
Yeah. And then some Facebook ads. And I also spend some money on marketing on listings. So, sending out postcards when it's coming soon, then under agreement, then sold, things like that. And taking care of the clients, closing gifts, pop-bys. That's where most of my money goes.
I like it. And ladies and gentlemen, we've only gotten one question from the audience. So if there's something you want to know, please put it in the chat. And thank you, Mary. How about you, Heather?
I spend, so first off, I've never bought leads. Like I feel like that's my job to build them and find them. So I've never bought leads, but the majority of my money is spent on my CRM, which is Follow Up Boss. And we just started using Fellow in October after we were at the EXPCon. And Fellow has probably been one of the best investments I've ever made. It does an overlay in our database and it helps us identify the people who are most likely to want to make a move. It has a scoring system and we do make calls and connect with our database on a daily. But with Fellow, we've already seen an improvement of, oh my gosh, at least 40%. Since we started in October, we have already taken 6 new listings simply from the Fellow connection. So now on our database, we're tracking everything. Whenever it's a lead that was contacted because of the scoring system of Fellow, we're tracking that, and we've had 6 opportunities from that. And we started in October, so we didn't really start. We were implementing and everything, so it was really December, let's say, that we were using the system, and we've already seen that kind of success.
And so, Heather, are those people that were already in your database, or these new leads that
No, they don't. No, Fellow's not a lead generating system. Fellow is simply an overlay to your database. Okay. So what they do is they overlay. They kind of sit on top of your database, and they utilize whatever algorithms they do. And as long as you have a name, phone number, email address, it will be able to find information on those people. What we identified as a big opportunity is we had some people in our database that we had one address. We thought that was the only property they had. This overlay will find all of the properties they own.
What's the investment in Fellow? What's that look like?
It's based on your database size. My database is about 9,000. So my investment on a monthly is $800. But again, if you have fewer contacts, that number is a lot less.
Gotcha. Awesome information. Thanks so much, Heather. Leo, how about you? What are you spending your money on?
Well, I am big on brand building. So I'm doing a lot of local advertisement, like we have a grocery store chain, like it's called Cup Food. So I'm doing cart advertisement over there. So I'm buying 3 stores. I have about 100 cards in each store. And it works very well for brand building, and I'm getting a lot of business out of it. Basically, it's my picture, my advertisement, my everything on the card. So when people are shopping, they have no other choice but see my face and read my advertisement. And I'm big on referral business. So to keep in touch with my past, future, or just followers is absolutely crucial in my business. So I'm buying, it's called American Lifestyle Magazine. Basically, the cost is around $350. You modify it. You have an option to modify this magazine a little bit with your advertisement, with pictures, with some articles, and company prints it for you and send it to your database. The magazine look absolutely amazing, very high quality print, paper, service, everything. And it helps me a lot to keep in touch with my sphere of influence, because 70% of my business is my sphere and referral business. So this is where I spent my money. I bought leads a long time ago, and then I stopped doing it because sphere, in my opinion, works better. The trust is already established. I don't need to do anything extra, as people already know me. So,
lovely, Leo. Very good. As far as me, I will tell you again, in the book Source of Sales, we explain a lot of this to our people, but I am with Heather as well. I don't pay for leads. I believe our most profitable mechanism in this business is to self-generate leads and keep all the commission for yourself. I have dear friends who spend $20,000, $30,000 a month in getting Zillow leads. It's just a different model. There is no right or wrong answer, but my focus is always to be the most productive and profitable agent in our marketplace. And profitability certainly comes from self-generation of leads. Paying for an admin is great. Ryan, I appreciate that thought. A lot of people ask, Glenn, when do I bring on an admin or an assistant? And I really believe if you're doing 36 deals or more a year, that's probably your strike point where you need to be hiring an admin. I pay admins, or I advise agents to pay admins part-time salary plus bonus. So if you're successful, they're successful. To find a 10 to 20 hour a week admin is fairly cheap. Obviously, the VAs that are out there are extremely cheap. Very few admins can figure out how to work 40 hours in your business, especially if you're only doing 36 to 64 deals. So I think that's the good strike point. Obviously, we spend money on Go High Level and our CRM. I think CRM is a great investment to make. Leo, I've done the shopping carts, and they work. I've done the magazines, they work. Mary, every listing and every sale, we do 200 postcards around every listing, and we do 200 postcards around every sale. Those are 3 old Stone Age marketing techniques, but let me tell you something, they still work. The biggest advice I have for those listening is keep your expenses in balance. There's so many people that will take a second mortgage on their home because people are saying, pay us money in order to generate business. And that's because that's what they do. The most profitable activity in real estate right now is lead generation. And Zillow has proven that. Zillow's a $60 billion plus company, and all they do is lead generate. So I think that, as much as people feel like Zillow may be a monster, they've certainly hit us over the head with a club and have said, don't you guys understand? Lead generation is, in fact, the most profitable way. I'm sure everyone on this call is getting text messages saying, hey, how about $75 a lead? How about $100 a lead? Give us a chance. Everybody is selling leads. And I just want to encourage you that leads don't need to be bought. They can be obtained with the proper system and the proper effort from agents. So that's just my thought on the question, where do you guys spend money? So I appreciate all the answers. Does any of the panelists want to follow up with anything here, or should we go to our next question? We'll go to our next question. Coming from Troy Dixon, how do you pick and choose which of the many updates available to work with without chasing so many shiny objects? And I think we can probably get through this question quick. I'll rephrase it. Every day we have opportunities to invest or pick and choose in something that is supposed to make us more money and more successful in the business. When these opportunities come to you, what is your filter? What is the question you ask yourself in order to say, you know what, I will try the postcards, or I will try the shopping cart, or I will try the new CRM. I love the fellow stuff from Heather. Thank you. How do you discern that? What is your filter? And Ryan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on where you are at in your business. What I mean by that is my first year, I wasn't paying for anything. I'm starting in real estate. I kind of want to see what happens. So I actually connected with a couple. Oh man, I'm trying to think. It's been 7 years. OpCity is one of them. They use different apps that you paid them at closing. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a big part of your commission. Well, when you don't have any leads and you're not getting any money, at that time of my business was, hey, I need to allocate deals and clients, and I don't want to put money up front. So I did that. I no longer do that, but at that time in my business, I did. So I think it depends on where you're at in your business. And now where I'm at in my business, it's kind of where I want to be associated with, like where do I want to go to? So if you're doing postcards for your listings, you're trying to be associated with that community. You're trying to put it out there for more listings, potential buyers for the community. So I look at different opportunities, and I vet them in that kind of a manner. I'm not really looking at the upfront cost now. I'm looking at the back end return, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I'm at now. It's more of like sponsoring different things, different events. A lot of we do a lot of tricky trays in the area, which is benefits. It could be a cancer benefit, could be raising money for a family who lost stuff at a fire. I show up at a lot of those, do donation baskets, put my business card in, and support the community. So that's kind of where I'm at now with it. And as far as like when people call me to sell me something, if it sounds interesting, and again, I'm 7 years of, as you guys know, you have more years than me. We get those calls weekly about how they could give us new leads. So I've already heard it. So I already know how to decline like immediately. But if something's new and strikes my interest, I'll say, okay, great. Let me look at my schedule. I'll put you on. I'll give them a half hour of my time. And I'll listen to the pitch. And then I'll also look them up during that time before our meeting and see if I'm even going to take the meeting. But that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I love it. I love the community service aspect. I think there's no bigger return and there's no cheaper way to do it than engaging in your community. And whether it's through teaching, coaching, leading, community cleanups, baseball leagues, soccer leagues, whatever, huge return on investment for that. How about you, Mary? How do you filter through all the opportunities that are out there, and what do you ask yourself in order to go ahead and buy?
I go back to my business plan and I look at my lead generation pillars and where my business is already coming from and what my goals are. And if it doesn't make any of that better, it's probably going to be a no.
Awesome. Easy enough. I like it. How about you, Heather?
Sorry, I was on mute. I really kind of on the same page as Mary. I look at my goals and how does it fit into my goals? But then again, when I do see something that does fit, like I felt with the fellow, I'll go to people in my upline. I'm part of the Fast Forward group. And I look at those people who've had success or who are utilizing something, and I talk to them. I know when I was looking at CRMs, I was researching a variety of them, but then I went to different people in my upline and got their feedback on their size of team or what they were doing or what kind of volume they had or what size database. And it helped me make the best decision for my database choice. And then again, with Fellow, before I made that big investment, I talked to some other people who confirmed that they had success. It just makes it a better decision when you can talk to trusted people who are actually using it.
I love it. Have a mentor copy them. Fantastic. And then Leo, how about you?
Well, I'm a member of Fast Forward movement, the XP Fast Forward movement, my downline. And if I have some shiny object, I go and ask if anyone tried, and there's a big chance that someone tried. And if it's something that makes financial sense, I jump on this shiny object. But my strategy is to build the brand. So anything that helps me to build a brand, I'm investing. And if it's a shiny object, yes, I jump on it just to build a brand, because I want my name to be associated with real estate, with people who know me or people who don't, who just live in my farming area or my neighborhood or my city or the area that I'm interested to be at. So,
Leo, that's great. I think that's a great filter, and that's when I say, what is the question you ask yourself? The quality of your business is determined by the quality of questions you ask yourself about your business. And that's really what I was trying to get at with people is when the shiny objects come for Leo, for instance, which I love, Leo is simply asking, will this help expand and better my brand? If the answer is no, then he's not spending the money or chasing the object. Some people will ask the question, does this help me get more listings? If it doesn't help me get more listings, I'm not chasing the shiny object. Some may say, does it get me more buyers? I think you understand the path there. So I would just encourage everyone that's listening is develop a question that when opportunities come, if you can't answer in the affirmative to the quality question that you're asking, then it may not be the tool for you. So great question. Thank you so much. And that question came to us from, that was, I think, Russell. So Russell, thank you for that. Jules Flotty has asked us a question in the buyer realm. For those of you that work with buyers in your current business, do you personally show your buyers, or do you utilize a showing agent? And if you are using a showing agent, are you paying per showing or a percentage? So number one, do you show your buyers yourself? Number two, do you ever use a showing agent? Number three, how are you paying them, per deal or at the back end on a closing? So let's go ahead and start with you, Ryan. Tell us how you're handling those buyers.
Yeah, so I show most. I get out there and show most of them. I vacation a lot, so I have agents that cover. And to make it worth their time, I cut them into the deal. And depending on the time of the year, I get busy where I will give out 50% referrals to those other agents and let them take the lead, and they just put me on the back end. I go on the back end. So they take the credit for the sale, the client, and they could build the referrals off it. It just depends on the time of the year. Like coming into the spring market, a little bit slower, so I'll do 90% of my showings. But once we hit, April, May, June, July, it's the Wild West for the most part. So I'm taking what I have on schedule and delegating the other stuff. And again, referral based, 25 to 50%, depending how we work it out.
Awesome. Mary, how about you?
So back in Massachusetts, again, I have an agent partner. So she handles everything that's in person. So not just showings, but she'll go to closings, she'll do inspections, everything that's in person she does. And I do, and we split the deals, and I do, communication with the agent, with the client, writing up the offers, everything else like that is me. And then here in North Carolina, I am doing most of the showing so far, but I do like this model. And once I get busy here, I'm probably going to do the same thing.
Sweet. Heather, how about you?
I don't show most buyers. I focus more on the listings, but over time I've developed just a small team. I've got 2 other folks on my team. And when I do have a buyer, I give it to them and then we split it. We also find that we end up having so many buyers sometimes that they're even overwhelmed. So we've created a showing program where we'll pay agents $50 for every showing that they do. And then if one of those showings turns into a contract, they don't write it or anything, but obviously we do, then they get a $500 bonus for doing that.
Interesting. Okay, good. Leo, how about you?
Well, I sometimes utilize the outside help from another realtors when I am overwhelmed. The challenge for me is to sell it to my clients because they go for my expertise. So before I engage the outside help, I have conversation with my clients saying, you know what, it's just a showing. If you like the house, I'll be there for the second showing, so we could work together if you need my expertise and my opinion. I pay very similar to, I believe, Heather, very similar structure, $50 a showing, and we pay $1,000 if this showing will end up in closing.
I love it. I model Leo's as well. I focus on listings, but yeah, I think $25 a door is good. And then what I usually do is say, hey, it's $25 a door, and then I cap it at either 500 or 1,000. I mean, the bottom line is if you're a skilled buyer broker, you should be selling people homes if they're serious buyers in 10 showings or less. So, $25 or even $50 a door now is probably more reasonable. $50 a door times 10 doors is $500. Plenty of people are willing to do $50 a door. If you got to show 20 homes, I get it. But, most people that we're working with are, filtering through the internet on the sites. They have a pretty good idea, and, 3 to 5 homes going out 2 to 3 times usually gets the job done. So really, really good question. And I hope that has helped. So Jules, thank you for your question. Our next one comes from Ryan Dash. Your partner and I sold 78 homes last year, with 30% of that business coming from YouTube, including 8 multiplex projects that we have inked deals for this year. All of it is organic. I think YouTube specifically is vastly underutilized and doesn't sound like the panel is using it. Or are you? If you are, what are you doing on social media to reach out to the next generation of buyers, sellers, and honestly, developers? Awesome question. Congratulations to you on your success, Ryan, on YouTube. Let's go ahead and talk with each person up here. And Ryan, I'm guessing that you're probably an Icon agent as well. So that I would love to know in the chat if you are. But panel, let's talk. Are you using YouTube? If you are not using YouTube, what social media are you using? Is it making you money? What is your strategy? Let's go ahead and dive into the social media questions. So Ryan, you are up.
Yes. My answer will be pretty short. I don't utilize social media. I am in person, going to different events, meetups. I'm involved in the community. So I'm out there. I know I leave money on the table, but at the same time, right now, my priority is allocating time for my son. He's 4, so I don't want to go full throttle across the board with everything. The way I run it, my wife, myself, my family is very happy, so I continue to run it that way. And I know every agent I run into tells me the same thing. I'm leaving money on the table, but I'm okay with that. I accept that, and I can grind that out a couple of years from now. But my answer is short and sweet. I do not utilize it, but I definitely see the value in it.
Awesome. Love that. How about you, Mary? Tell us your thoughts.
Not using YouTube. I know it's great for some people, but it's not my thing, not one of my strategies. So, but I am on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook a lot. And I use it as a way to also nurture leads and nurture my sphere and past clients. So I try to be there on stories most days of the week and have about 2 to 3 posts on my feed consistently.
Very good, Mary. Heather, how about you?
So I do utilize YouTube, and I don't think I'm great at it, but I think we're getting better. So I know there's so much potential in YouTube because that's what people are searching and different things like that. So we do put all of our listing videos on YouTube, and we've now started incorporating AI and tagging them with the right SEO words and the LLM languages and things like that. So what we've started to see is more traction because we are seeing those words get people to the videos. So that's how we've been utilizing YouTube. And honestly, it's been a good tool for us because we direct listing prospects to our YouTube to kind of see how we go about marketing. And it's almost a bigger platform than social media because it stays in that whole section all the time. So obviously people see your posts on Instagram and everywhere else, but when you go to YouTube, it has like a history of all the different things that you've done so they can get to know you in a different manner. So we do use Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, our Google business page. That's been a good one too. And we definitely get people contacting us through that. And did I say LinkedIn? We also use LinkedIn. So we try to kind of hit all of them.
That is an awesome answer. Heather, thank you. I just learned something from you too, or you just helped me realize something. So Ryan Dash, great job putting this out. Heather, great answer. Leo, tell us what you're doing on YouTube or social, if anything.
Well, on YouTube, I am not as active. To be honest, I just started to add all of my videos to YouTube, but I've been very active on Facebook and Instagram for years. And at the beginning, it was a challenge. It's probably all me. I didn't feel right about the accent, but at some point I said, what the heck? I'm choosing to be a realtor, and this is what realtors do, and I need to put my name out there. So accent or no accent, I'm in. To my surprise, people absolutely loved it. I got a lot of business from my Facebook followers, and from my videos. I advertise every single of my listings on Facebook and Instagram, and people know me. I mean, it happened it happens often these days when I just walk in a store and they're like, hey, I saw you on Facebook. I'm like, wow, this is really, I mean, do I want this attention? Probably not, but me being a realtor, it works. Just 2 weeks ago, I signed listing on withhold from friend who saw my video on, from the person who saw my video on Facebook, and he recommended this listing to my name to his friend, and I just signed $4.3 million listing on Lake Minnetonka. It just came straight from Facebook video, nothing else.
You gotta love it. Again, Ryan was kind enough to put his YouTube link in. I hope everybody goes and follows him. Ryan, thanks for the share on that. I've been very active on Facebook, not as much on Instagram. For my speaking and book business, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'd love all of you to follow me on LinkedIn at Glenn Bill. I do attitude. I wrote an international best-selling book on attitude as well. And we post every day on LinkedIn on our attitude platform. And yeah, we're punching listings. I do not do YouTube, but I should. I think the biggest challenge for most realtors, there's a question that we all need to ask ourselves. It's like, what business are you in? And then what business are you really in? And being a social media realtor is a time commitment, and it's a discipline commitment. And it's okay if you don't feel comfortable. It's okay if you don't do social media, in my opinion. There's plenty of people selling bunches of what I'd love you to do is, whatever market you're in, go find the top 10 realtors who are selling more than anybody in your board, and then go look at them on social media. I've done this in Indianapolis. I served on the board of directors. And the bottom line is, our biggest agents are not social media stars. Our biggest agents are active. You can tell they have other people, but they're not real, excited or enthusiastic about becoming social media posters. They are out doing deals, and they're out working the business. So I can tell you this: I was with signing up a listing the other day. And as I was getting the paperwork signed by the seller, we were talking about social media and real estate agents. And, I'm in there getting the ink and getting listings signed. And they're showing me videos of my competition on YouTube and TikTok, laughing, going, are these people actually selling real estate, or are they just social media moguls? So, I believe that YouTube is awesome. We use Google reviews and Google business page. We get a lot of business from that. Ryan, because of your thing, and I can't wait to see what you do, I think it's a great way to get business. Leo has proven that. I've gotten, I would tell people I make $100,000 a year on my social media and for my real estate business. So I'm all for it. I don't want to send the wrong message, but I've also seen agents get what I call social media shame and so discouraged because, they're not the big social media presence that a lot of their competition is. I would only encourage you that, you're your biggest competition. And as long as you're hitting your goals and selling the way you want to sell, you have nothing to be ashamed of or feel bad about. I've also seen people lose momentum because they've been hyped and sold on social media is the way. And they get bogged down and they stop doing the fundamentals of real estate, and it reduces their productivity. So I would, watch out for that. And that's my thought on social media. So just, keep it all in perspective. But my feeling is great lead generator, but the business we're in is getting purchase agreements and listing agreements signed with buyers and sellers. All right. So we got one last question and then we'll finish up here. We got 9 minutes. what YouTube or video content works best for most attraction at recruiting and conversion. I'm not sure if anybody on our panel is a big attractor or how big your downlines are, but if somebody is doing that, I would love to know. I will also just add that social media posting is really about education and entertainment. If you're not educating the person that's watching or solving a problem, your posts probably aren't going to stick. And if anybody else has any comments on what I just said, please, we'll just open it up to all four. We don't have to have an order, and then I'll ask our final question. Anybody want to address what we just talked about? All right, I guess I answered that question then. Okay, we're down to about 8 minutes. Here's a couple fun questions I always like to ask. I'd love to know who your biggest mentors were. What's the one thing they educated you on that made the biggest difference in your business? And that could have been somebody from a personal development perspective or a real estate training perspective. But who's the one person, one mentor, the one system that's made the most difference in your business? And we can go to Ryan for that.
Yeah, I would give it back to my sponsor, Jason Giamboni. He told me when I got into it, know your bread and butter, know your documents, and just hit me with some really good training throughout the years. I mean, became super close friends with him, still look up to him, still, mentor with him. So I got to give it to my sponsor, plain and simple.
Awesome. That's great. I hope Jason gets a hold of this. I'm sure he's thrilled. And for anybody that's sponsoring agents, I think it would be our goal that anybody that's in our downlines gives the same answer Ryan would. Mary, how about you?
I don't have a specific person. I have done a few coaching programs throughout the years, and one of the common themes, something that I learned, and when it clicked for me, it really worked, was, well, first of all, treat your business like a business, but then find what works for you. There's so many options, so many things that you can do out there, and there's no right or wrong, but just find out what works for you and focus on that and do more of that. And once I did that, it really helped my business a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, Mary. I love that. Heather, how about you?
I think I really have to first thank not just one, but really the Fast Forward group, that whole movement, and the group of leaders that have put that together. They've been instrumental in helping me take my business from where I was to where I am now. And I can see that I'm going to even jump to another level because they're so open about sharing and collaborating and offering insight. And I figured out, finally, it takes you a while because I feel like in this business in general, people are not really very helpful. But here, because they are, it's helped me understand that I can get to the next level so much faster because they've already bumped their heads in different places and they're telling me exactly what not to do and what will probably work. So I think in where I was before, or just even looking at other people, a lot of people spend time bumping their heads, where we have this amazing resource of people who are wanting everyone to succeed, because the reality is there's plenty of business for everyone. And when you find people like that, they're just going to help you grow.
And so, Heather, that's the Fast Forward group through EXP. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And how do people, is that available to everyone at EXP, or do you have to be a certain?
No, you have to be in that downline.
Oh, okay. So that's the Fast Forward downline group.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, Leo, how about you?
Well, I'm with Heather. I'm with Fast Forward movement, and they've been instrumental. I mean, I picked so many great ideas, and they influenced my business. I mean, it's a great group, but I see many agents when they go strictly for money, and don't matter what training you attend, everyone's talking about treat it as a business. It's a business. Well, I don't agree. To to me, and based on what I see, it's all about passion. So whoever is passionable about this business, they do extremely well. Just being here for money, it's a recipe to disaster at some point, recipe to be burned out, and so on. And as far as the coaching, I follow and I attended a few coaching sessions with John Cheplack. You can find him on social media. Amazing guy, man, amazing influencer, knows what he is talking about. I would highly recommend to follow him and listen to what he is saying.
Awesome. Well, panel, thank you so much. Our time is over. I think we've hit the 1 hour, and I hope this gives you all your ability to get that EXP stock and leverage and get everything you've paid in back. I've learned from each and every one of you. I thank you so much for your honest answers, your insights, and I've certainly learned a lot. Audience, thank you for your questions and your attention. And with this, we will call it a wrap in the Icon Conversation. Please follow all of our panelists, and feel free to follow us on social media, and we'll keep working together. And I hope to see you all in Salt Lake City. Take care from the Icon stage. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today for iConversations. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button. And if you're here in the main auditorium of EXP World and you're an icon in an active benefit year, you get 2 points just for watching the show today. If you go over to YouTube and smash that like button as well. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.